Alright, if you watched this video here, you heard me say thanks but no thanks to doggy daycares. Then, in this video, when it came out, I said a hard pass on dog parks. But Michelle, how am I going to get my dog socialized? This is a legitimate question, and today I'm going to tell you all about what you can do. Today we're going to talk about puppy playdates. Now I'm going to review the who, what, where, when, why, and how of these canine play sessions. And I've got some great puppy playtime videos to share with you. Some of the students in my online course have had some great puppy playdates, and they filmed it for our enjoyment and our education. Wait till you see Marshmallow and Bailey. You're gonna love them. Now, you know what else you're gonna love? My next video, but you won't know about it unless you hit that subscribe button. So now's the time. Michelle here with How to Train a Dream Dog. Okay, let's get started with the when. When can my dog start playing with other dogs? Now, once your dog has the second round of vaccines, it's safe for him to be introduced to another dog who is fully vaccinated. Your puppy is usually around 12 weeks at that point, and it's an excellent time to start testing out puppy playdates. Now, you might have heard me talk about the imprint period. That's the phase between birth and about 16 weeks, when our dog is forming opinions about the world around them. Now, the more things you can expose him to in a positive way, the more likely he will be able to approach the big wide world with confidence. So keep in mind that positive exposure has to be positive. If you overdo it, it's gonna backfire. Now, I mention this video all the time because it's super important. So if you haven't watched it yet, well, check it out when you're done here. All right, now let's go back to the when question. So if your dog is a little older and you adopted him from a shelter, or you just got him a little later in life, I'm going to ask that you wait a few days or a week after he comes home before introducing him to a playmate outside of your household. Now, you always want to give new pups a chance to settle in first. Now, I've already touched on the why doggy playdates are important. As I said, they're a part of exposure and socialization to the outside world. But you might be surprised by this next statement. It's okay if your dog isn't interested in other dogs. Not all dogs like to play with other dogs. It's really good to try out some playdates and see what his level of interest is. But it's okay if your dog says meh when it comes to other dogs. Some dogs just prefer engaging with their humans, the kids, or even the cat. Now, this is Jenna and her pup Daisy, and her cat, Junior. They're working through my online course. Now, we've learned that their dog and cat absolutely love playing together. But just like with puppy playdates, it's important to make sure it's going well for all animals involved. Now, Jenna submitted this video of the animals playing together to get some feedback on what we think. That's actually one of the benefits of the pro level of my online course, that personalized feedback on your exact situation. Now, you can learn more about the course in the description below. So you see, there are plenty of ways to meet your dog's need for enrichment and socialization that do not involve other dogs. So if you have one of those not a fan of other dogs kind of dogs, it's best if you find the sweet spot. So provide enough exposure to other dogs that he's not reactive when he sees them on walks, but skip the playdates and visits from other dogs if he doesn't enjoy it. Okay, let's talk about the who. Who's a good playmate for my dog, you might be asking? Well, you know your dog best, so try to evaluate his play style. But Michelle, he's such a baby. I don't know what he likes yet. Yep, that's totally no problem. That's why we do play dates with different dogs to see who's a good fit. But think about your dog's temperament. Is he energetic and confident? Is he a little more timid and needs time to warm up to new things? Now, the most important thing in choosing a playmate is to match the temperament. So for example, if your dog is a little on the shy side, pick a playmate who's a little more calm and will be patient and wait for your dog to engage before pouncing. You're going to also want to be aware of the age when choosing a playmate. Now, a much older dog is unlikely to enjoy the antics of a puppy. Generally speaking, try to find a dog close to your dog's age, maybe within a few years. Now, that's not a hard and fast rule, but it is what's worked well for me. Dogs with dramatically different ages just have different wants and needs. And older dogs might have some aches and pains that cause them to take it a little slower. Or they don't want to play with such an energetic puppy. Some dogs have distinct preferences. Meet Olive. Olive belonged to one of my other trainers on the team, Nicole. So as an adult dog, Olive loves to play with puppies. just puppies. She had a brother, Copper, and they were really good friends, but when it came to playtime, it was all about the puppies. Other dogs her age were pretty uninteresting to her, and it actually took some trial and error for Nicole to figure out Olive's preferences. But when she did, playing with puppies became a great outlet for sweet Olive. Now, you might be thinking that choosing a playmate of the same breed is an automatic match. Not so much. It might be a better chance of a good match, but breed is only one of the characteristics to look at. Now, as I said, temperament is really the most important factor. In addition, be aware of size when choosing playmates. Now, it's entirely possible to have two dogs of different sizes who do well playing together. Meet Marshmallow and Bailey. Bailey's human, Jessica, went through my online course. She knew Bailey was gonna be a big guy, and using the online course, she wanted to make sure he was a good boy for all their busy household. Now, a few years later, Marshmallow joined the family, somewhat unexpectedly. Now, she began working through the online course again. That's actually one of the benefits of this course. There's no expiration date, so if you need a refresher on some of the skills, or you get another dog, you can just rewatch the videos. Alright, recently Jessica submitted this video to evaluate if Marshmallow and Bailey were engaged in healthy play. Is this not the cutest thing you've seen? Look at how big Bailey is compared to little Marshy. But the thing I loved is what we call self-handicapping. This means the bigger dog alters his body position to make him less likely to injure the small dog. Now you can see Bailey is lying down, he's gentle with his mouth, and he isn't playing with more than just a paw and a soft nibble or two. Now I guarantee you that if Bailey was playing with another dog of his own size, it would look a whole lot different. So this is an example of great play, where Bailey is taking care not to hurt Marshmallow. Jessica is working on other aspects of training to ensure there are no injuries due to the size difference. This includes Bailey waiting patiently before going out the door, so he doesn't run over Marshmallow, and Marshmallow being comfortable in his pen and crate, so the family's energetic play with Bailey doesn't result in an injury. So you see, size can matter, but it's only one of the factors. What matters the most is how the dogs do when they're together. Alright, now let's talk about where these play dates can happen. Dogs move around a lot when they play, so it's good to have them in an open room or a yard. This allows some freedom to run and jump and roll and pounce and stalk. Now, if you have a fenced-in yard without too many obstacles, this would be best. But an indoor area is also okay. Just be prepared to clear things out of the way. When dogs play together, they're not careful about what they bump into. Now, if a lamp falls and breaks, that's on the human. Alright, let's talk about where to find the playmate. So many people feel that the breeder is a good source of finding similar puppies, and people often set up playdates with relatives of their dog. You can also ask your vet or groomer for recommendations. Keep in mind that vets and groomers usually see dogs only when they're stressed, so they may not know for sure what would be a good fit, but it's worth a try. Now, as I mentioned in the dog park video, dog parks are good places to scout out some playmates. Just pick one or two dogs for a private playdate and skip the unsafe dog park. Now, many communities have small groups that meet up for regular playtime with similar aged dogs. I know in my community there's actually a small dog meetup, and you might find one for your big dogs too. Playdates can be done with more than one dog, and I would suggest that you keep it to a maximum of 3 dogs together at any time. Now, if you have more than 3 dogs, you probably won't see any pauses in play, which are really important so that playdates don't escalate and get too crazy. And if you have littermates, offer them a chance to play with another dog, both separately and together. Okay. So now that we've got all the details out of the way, let's talk about how to navigate the playdate. Believe it or not, it's more than just plopping 2 dogs in the backyard and letting them go for it. For one, try to schedule the playdate for a time when your pup doesn't have a ton of energy, but isn't overtired either. Now, you're looking for that medium spot in the battery. When we first introduce the pups, start with what we call parallel walks. Now, this means that both dogs are going to be walking down the street in the same direction, each with their own human. Now, you might need some distance, like walking on opposite sides of the street, but let them be aware of each other without expecting them to meet and play just yet. We really don't love leash greetings, despite what you actually see in movies or online. But these walks are a great way for the dogs to start to get to know each other. Believe me, those noses are working overtime, even when the other dog is across the street. If the parallel walk is going well and neither dog is having too strong of a reaction, it's fine to move it to an off-leash greeting in a fenced area. Here's something you might not have thought of though. Make sure to remove all collars and harnesses. Dogs are very mouthy when they play, and that's okay. It's totally normal. But I've actually seen teeth get caught on collars and get ripped out, or collars and harnesses get hooked together. This could actually cause panic in the two dogs and can be really dangerous. So, naked pups is the name of the game. All right, another tip. Keep the extra stimulation low. Now, we don't need humans cheering on the dogs. They're gonna do just fine on their own. Just be quiet and observe how they do together. Speaking of noises, it's normal to hear vocalizations from the dogs. Growling, barking, pouncing, and biting are all natural puppy engagements. It actually might sound more vicious than it really is, as they learn and explore their vocals. Now, during the play date, we recommend that everybody just kind of stay out of the way, especially kids. And just like treats, food, and toys are not allowed in dog parks, we don't want them present during doggy playdates either. These things become resources that can be a source of an argument. It's also good to give some water to the dogs in separate bowls with some distance from each other. Now, when it comes to puppy playdates, less is more. These pups do not need to play together for hours on end. 10 or 15 minutes is more than enough. As the puppy grows and as you see his stamina increase, you can make it a longer play date. But just like toddlers, puppies will not regulate themselves and tell you when they need a nap. You're gonna probably find out that just a little too late. So during the play date, we recommend you build in some pauses in play if the dogs aren't already doing it themselves. So if they aren't taking them on their own, you're just gonna call the dog periodically to you for about 30 seconds or maybe a minute break. In my online course, we actually teach you about an interrupter cue, which cues your dog to focus on you and take a brief moment from that play. Now, this pause also helps to avoid any overexcited dog who may not play nicely. And the interrupter cue is a great tool to use in a variety of different situations. And if your young puppy is playing with an older dog, you might see what we call the puppy pass. This means that the older dog might be a little more tolerant with the rough puppy play. Up until about the 6-month mark, older dogs are pretty forgiving with the pups who are learning. After the puppy reaches that 6 months of age, the older dog begins to be more corrective. Now, I've got some great details about that in this video here about life with a puppy and an older dog. All right, I hope you're enjoying these tips here. If you are, please subscribe for more awesome videos coming out soon. All right, keep in mind that playdates, just like canine behavior, are really not cookie cutter. Each playdate's gonna be different depending on the dog, their battery levels, and the environment, and more. You are the critical thinker, so you're gonna need to be vigilant for signs that it's going well and not so well, and intervene accordingly. And if you're not sure what's a good sign or a bad sign, consider enrolling in the online course for even more great content about doggy playdates. Because at the pro level, we invite students to upload videos of their puppies' playdates, and we can point out what we see that's good and what might need to be adjusted. Now, one of my pro level students did this exact thing. Meet Carolyn and Abby. Recently, Carolyn took Abby on a trip. Carolyn saw another dog in a store who looked a lot like Abby. So she asked if she could bring Abby in to meet him and to see if they'd like to play. She could, and she did. We were able to give her some pretty good feedback on the healthy play we saw, and we told her that this pup was a good match for Abby. And then, next time Carolyn went back to that same town, these two pups continued their fun. The thing I like about this is that Carolyn checked with the dog's owners without having Abby with her. She asked some really good questions about the temperament of the dog and the play style, and as best she could, she determined that it might be a good fit. Now, their first play date was short and sweet. She wanted to get some video for us to evaluate. I'm really glad she did because they are just super cute together. Now, I wish I could go into even more detail about what makes a great play date, but each situation is slightly different. In the end, it's not what I think is a good play date, but what your dog thinks is a good play date. If you're paying close attention to body language, you'll know. And if you need more help with this foreign language, I've got you covered. Now, I hope you enjoyed all these great tips today. In the comments below, tell me if your dog has had a play date yet and how did it go?